Hello, and welcome to the fifth installment of the Flight Room podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Flight Room TV. Also, follow us on all social media platforms at The Flight Room TV. I'll be your host for the evening, Concourse P, and I'm about to introduce my panel. First, we have Say Al. Hey, Al. My man, Paul Shack. Keys, a.k.a. B. Morgan.
What's up?
Simo Corey.
Yo.
Lighthouse, aka Marcus. Remy, please. Randall Bell. All right. And to start the episode, our first question is: if you hit the lottery, what are the first things you're gonna do with the winnings?
I'll go first. All right. So first thing, we didn't really talk about how much money it is. So I looked at it like it had to be an unlimited amount of money. So that was the first thought I had. So first thing I'm gonna do is buy my parents a house, just to get that out the way, just to alleviate all their stress. They ain't got to worry about nothing. They just got a comfortable place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Just be good. Just get that out the way. Number two, I'm gonna buy land. I'm gonna try to buy as much land as I can get within a reasonable, amount of money from which I have. And then on that land, I'm gonna build some property. So that's number three. Property, things like schools, hospitals, libraries, grocery stores, things like that. After that, actually the number four, the last thing I would get is a private jet, because I feel like if I'm gonna own a lot of land and I'm gonna be building a lot of property, I know I'm gonna be making a lot of moves and be having to go a lot of places. So I think if I had a private jet, that allow me to take care of a lot of those things. And that's my four. That's the four things I do.
Got the private jet. Nice.
Ain't bad at all.
Well, I gotta pay off debt, so that's the first thing I'm doing. I got mad. I gotta get rid of this debt. This is ridiculous. This is hanging over my head for way too goddamn long. So debt's first. I'll probably build a studio second. That's the lifelong dream of mine, is to own a studio. Third thing, I feel like within this group actually, I feel like we should definitely have a food truck, invest in like a food truck or like some type of food business, because I think every single motherfucker in this joint can cook like shit.
That's true.
And like for real, like, and like on like some next level shit too. And then the fourth thing, I think I would probably try to start up like my own like youth football league. Just to some type of way to give back to the community, but at the same time, pursuing a passion of mine and coaching as well. So yeah, those would be my four. And then I'll buy my people's a house. Like, that's not in like a specific order.
And I was thinking about that was the first thing I would want to do, is like give back to, of course, your parents, your community. So that'd probably be my first one, giving back to my people. The debts, that's vital. I got some debts, I gotta pay that off, definitely. But I would want to invest as well, whether that be like in the community or like I was thinking about like maybe a weed farm or something. Something you can get money back from. Yeah, CBD. Something like that. And then fourth, I know I probably spread the wealth a little bit too. Savings bonds and stuff like that. That'd be how mine is. Just reinvesting in my people for real.
I like that.
Yeah.
So for me, first thing would be to purchase a home for my parents. I know specifically that they want a house like near water, so it would be like near a river or a lake or a beach or something like that. And then it'll be big enough that the whole family could come, because I got 7 brothers and sisters. So we got 7 brothers and sisters, and we got each one of us got kids. So so it's gonna be like at least 20 people in the house, maybe 25. The second thing is I wanna invest in like a corporation that will help youth, specifically youth of color, with jobs and preparation and their transition from high school to college to the corporate world. And the purpose is to actually present them with jobs within our corporation, so they don't have to go to, you know, the corporate world, quote unquote, the prototypical corporate world. It would be something that we built together, and it'll have something like, you know, something like how Tesla and Apple and Amazon have their own culture. So, you know, it'll be something that we could call our own.
Yep.
The third thing would be to reinvest, and that could be in, I would say, you know, it could be in oil, it could be in minerals, it could be, you know, whatever advisors would say would be the best come up at that time. And then the fourth thing would be I would purchase a house for myself and my family. Like, I always wanted a vacation home, so I want a home away from home. So anytime I want to fly out, or if I want to, you know, send friends there, send Al and Jen there, send Marcus over there for a vacation for a week, send Remy over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man Brian and Jesse, we've been wanting to get up for a while too.
Right.
But yeah, just like, you know, just like, yo, like, I got this vacation home. I ain't gonna be there for a couple of weeks. Y'all just, you know, fly on a plane and go have a good time. So that would be my fourth. That's it.
Spread that wealth.
Yes, sir.
I'm with the vacation home too. You know, like, I think that would be my first one. So my first one would actually be vacation. With my winners would just be vacation, and then like actually buying a vacation home as well. And that way it could be like not necessarily something like, it's also something I own, but at the same time it's a property that I could let my peoples go and stay at whenever they feel like it. Let anybody go stay at, but at the same time it can also bring you back some money. Number two, I would probably it would be two different businesses. It would be a one business, something like a run and shoot type of ordeal, where it's just like sports and actual like entertainment center. Whereas though, you know what I'm saying, like that joint like galvanize like different hoods and different people. Like, you just got to have it run correctly. Whereas though it allows people to have the opportunity, that platform to play and interact through sports or through different entertainment avenues, but at the same time in a safe environment. And then also it's still making some type of money if run correctly. I know run and shoot was not run correctly apparently, but I just closed out 3 different times under 3 different managers. But that, and then another type of business that's actually going to make some money. Third, of course, would be a trust fund for my kids, and then end up getting out of debt. So, I mean, something simple, and then stack away the rest. Do something smart with the rest, and that way, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gotta put too much burden on myself or anybody else after it's done.
That's what I would do. Like, first of all, because you watch all those like lottery gone wrong like shows.
Yep.
I'm taking the lump sum, and I'm gonna take 45% of that shit, and I'm saving it / investing that shit. That's what
I agree.
I'm starting off there, and then secondly, I'm paying off that rotten bitch Sally Mae. Paying that bitch off in straight rolls of pennies, and then I'm gonna buy a boat because I always wanted a boat, and then lastly, I'm gonna pay off all my folks' houses, so they can they can have. I mean, it's already paid off. You get that equity, and then like you start fresh. You can do whatever you want because I'm not enabling nobody. I'm just giving them a fresh start.
No, man.
Oh, is it my go? Y'all so responsible. First, I'm starting a cocaine cartel, baby.
So crazy to say that way when somebody say hookers and blow. That's always
Hookers and blow. Nah. First, I'm gonna try and build like an estate. I could go ahead and get houses for folks or whatever, but I'd rather build like a big ass estate, some dumb shit, whatever, and we all just live on that land or whatever, some big ass dumb ass hotel looking type shit or whatever. That's number one. Because if we talking about winning Mega Millions, anyways, we talk about Mega Millions anyway. Second, I don't really got too much debt, but pay off whatever. Third, definitely got to invest. I'm taking classes now for day trading and shit. So I'm definitely trying to take the time to invest in trade and shit. Fourth, start a corporation or a business with y'all. Try to get some, because everybody got their own ideas in here. I'm definitely sure that we could probably put something juicy together. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
The crazy part about it is I think a lot of people just said like along the same topics, like, you know what I'm saying, like find you something, like find your passion, but at the same time find a business that can still make you money. I remember that quote. It was like a quote that always said like find your passion, basically it's one of the quotes like find your passion, you'll never have to work a day in your life. What's some other quotes or anything like that? Because you guys have two staple quotes or anything that come to mind that you guys always think of that resonate with you in your day-to-day life?
To keep it short, as you think, so shall you become. And that's from Bruce Lee.
Nice.
Bruce Lee got some good ones too.
That really
Yeah,
a lot.
Bruce Lee got some good ones. And that, what is it called? Be Like Water. That documentary coming out.
Yo, that looks so tight. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
that gave me chills.
That's gonna be dope.
That should be crazy.
To piggyback off of Remy, in Proverbs, there's a scripture that says, "As a man thinketh, so is he. After man thinketh in his heart, so is he." And so that pertains to a little bit of what Remy said. And so just a book that I was talking about as well, just to like delve a little bit deeper into it, is "As a man thinketh, so is he" as well. So I talked about that last week. But I just think that it's real deep, like to know that you got mastery of your thoughts, and your thoughts, turn to action and reality, and how you think of yourself is how you're perceived, in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I never did get why people, think negatively of themselves and down themselves, because the more you think that you can accomplish and think highly of yourself, the more real it becomes. So that's it for me.
Yeah, one of mine is we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. And that's sometimes that shit is hard to like constantly like. Yeah, we can say quotes all day, but it's tough to constantly remain. We can hear it and you be like, damn, that shit is so true. But then like within the next 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? It's like out of sight, out of mind. It's really, really hard to like stay in that mindset. But it's nice to when you are reminded, like, you know what, I have to, the way you think about certain things is, I mean, that's fucking everything. I mean, it's like your perception is your reality. And that's something that I try to strive towards is especially like with like that was a Buddha quote, by the way. But like just I don't know, man. Like it's a lot going on in this world, and like if you think negatively, like you're just putting fuel on the fucking fire. And it's not until that you actually start thinking positively, even in a negative situation, that you start to change the outcome. But yeah, that was one of my quotes.
I was gonna say one of my favorite quotes is, "If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything." And I think that's very important because you got to have a sense of standard. Like certain things you just not gonna fold about. You know what I'm saying? And you got to stay true to that, because it's like if you know who you are and you have a certain path of direction within yourself, if you come and encounter something that's not in alignment with that, then you know that's not for you. So that's like kind of like how you staying true to what you stand on. You see what I'm saying? It's like when you know what you stand on and you come into something that's not in alignment with that, then you know that's not for you. And I think that's important. That keeps you on your path or whatever it is that you want to achieve. So I think that's a very important, quote to live by. But that's one of my most favorite ones. You know what I'm saying?
I got two. The joke I got is it's John Wooden, and it's just from playing sports as well as being like a coach and like always trying to instill this John in
I
kids.
know what you're about to say.
You already know it. Talent is God given. Be humble. Fame is man given. Be grateful. Conceit is self given. Be careful. Like that joke just always like resonated with me because it was like no matter what you got, you know what I'm saying? Like the joke can always be taken away from you at the blink of an eye. And like if you know what I'm saying, like you become too like big and too bold, like that shit just gonna go quick as it came. So that joke was always what stuck with me. And then the other joke is and it's just always been like a life motto for me, especially like when I started actually enduring some tough times at times. It was tough times never last, tough people do. And I never actually understood. I mean, well, not necessarily. I never understood, but I never could find like the true source of that quote because it's been like attributed to so many different people. But at the same time, like that jump always like stuck with me. Like regardless of whatever you're going through, like keep fighting, keep going through it, and like you will come out better on the other side. You just gotta persevere. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Stay with it. Stay true. That's me.
Well, y'all done said all the good ones. Shoot, I would say one that has always stuck with me. I think it was a world literature class or something we took or whatever. But it was a quote from Genghis Khan saying that I am the punishment of God. Had you not committed great sins, then God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you. And I thought that was the most gangster shit I have ever heard in my life. I could just only imagine what whoever he was speaking to when he said, I could only imagine what they was thinking in their mind. You know what I'm saying? That was one that has stuck with me over the
years. Genghis was a beast, bro.
Yeah, conqueror for real.
Genghis was a beast. Like he was out of all the history books, like, and just even recently, like he was named like the most autonomous and powerful ruler. Like he ain't take shit for nothing, bro. Like he was like conquered countries, like just because he had a dream about it.
They got like a movie about him.
Yeah, I do. I think they do.
Yeah, he's fucking Thanos.
Like no bull. Like that man was a beast, bro.
Yeah, he's Thanos.
Oh man, he said he's Thanos.
Nah, hey, I got a quote though. Mine was from Gladiator, of course, Russell Crowe. What we do in life echoes in eternity. I always like that quote because it's almost like even you want to set an example because it's almost like you get judged at the end. Like when you think of heaven or hell, it's like what you do echoes in eternity. If you did something positive, it'll echo. If you did something bad, but you always want to do something that, like, I always took it as like you want to make your family proud. You know what I'm saying? You always want to cherish like all the moments and like whatever greatness you have, you always want to project that. So I always took that quote like serious. That's one of my quotes I used to use for basketball. You know what I'm saying? And fun fact, me and Russell Crowe have the same fucking birthday. That's crazy, isn't it?
What he do?
Nah, that's what Marcus be talking about. That's that quote you was talking about as far as like Marcus be talking about like the legacy.
I was thinking about that.
That's still on.
Like just when you said, I was thinking about that shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
because even that whole concept of echoing into eternity is like we can look at people like Kobe, rest in peace, Tupac. Is like they were so great at a young age, so it's like what they've done in this short amount of time is going to. It's like the concept of living forever. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it just you existing in what you put on. Even what you project out, just it being passed on, just your memory. It's kind of like that movie Coco. Remember in the movie Coco where it was like you lived in the afterlife if people remembered you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you really live forever. It wasn't really about physical life. It was about being in the hearts and the minds of the people who still living. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's living forever. You know what I'm saying? It's not a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? So some real shit, Phil. That's some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Where you think you go when you expire, though? Where you think you go when you expire?
And I feel like that's the whole point of being here. You have to be able to consciously lift yourself up to the fourth dimension. Somehow you gotta get through this shit. You know what I mean? And project yourself into the next dimension, man. That's what I feel like.
But like, all right, when you say fourth dimension, for people that's watching, like, what do you mean?
It's nothing physical. It's more spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It's more of your belief, and like I said, your spirit connecting to something higher. It's not gonna be anything physical. You gotta dig deep for this.
I just think it's gonna be I don't know. Something's just telling me that it's more like a consciousness type of thing, because like your consciousness is like something that's always going to be there. Like you can't like get rid of it. It's not something that's it's not a living thing. It is what it is. And how can something die that can't fucking die? You know what I'm saying? Like we're physical beings, and once we pass on from the physical reality or realm, like what you have left is your soul or your consciousness or whatever your but as far as like what that shit would look like,
exactly. And that's what I meant to say. It's like the energy that you carry, your energy, what you possess. That's what you carrying on to the next. Like you said, consciousness, whatever. It's not gonna be anything physical though. Know that.
That's like the biggest like question. Like,
yeah, you don't know until you know. And who you gonna tell?
I feel like it's different planes of existence. This is just me. This ain't no like. This is just my reading and just seeing stuff and whatever. But it's like I feel like there's levels of existence. So if you right now we living in this 3D physical life, but the reason why we're living this physical life because on some level our spirit is still drawn to matter. We still drawn to the physical. Like we still have desires that we haven't gotten over. It's like the spirit. They say the spirit needs nothing, but the body needs everything. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be more in tune into your spirit in order to evolve into the next level of life. But if you still are caught up in your physical desires, then you're always going to keep reincarnating back into this life. You know what I'm saying? This physical life until you realize that you don't need none of this. You know what I'm saying? And until you get to that point, you're just going to keep living this because, you know, it's like they say the body is like hell. Like if our body, if we're spirits, you know what I'm saying? Our bodies is hell. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the fact that we could, we live through our five senses. That's what draws us to the land, if that makes any sense. But we're spiritual beings and bodies, but our bodies is what draws us to this, you know what I'm saying, so-called exist. You know what I'm saying? Like it draws us into this physical life. Yeah, it ties us down, exactly. But it's not freedom. Like our bodies are kind of like prisons almost. You see what I'm saying? But we have to kind of use our bodies to like kind of it's like kind of like learning how to love in something like, I don't mean this literally, but I'm using this as an analogy. It's like you're filled around hate and you have to learn how to love in that hate. So it's like you have to learn how to be a spirit in a body. Does that make sense? Like, so it's like in order to evolve, you have to know what it's like to be a spirit living a physical life, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That's how you evolve into the next stage of life. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through the contrast of living a physical life in order to understand what it's like to be a spirit again. You know what I mean? That's just,
I get that.
That doesn't make sense though.
Anybody entertain the idea of like reincarnation? I mean,
yeah, that's pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
I think reincarnation. I'm not expert, but I think reincarnation isn't up to us. I think that's up to a higher power. You know, I
agree.
I think it's you know, it might pertain to your certain situation or what you got to do, or you know, unfinished business. Like I do, I always believe in, you know, someone having such a deep love for their family. That they want to come back in some type of way and you know, watch over their family or you know, just have a moment with them. And it's funny because Marcus mentioned Coco, but Coco's another cartoon movie, man. Them cartoon movies hitting, man. I'm trying to tell you.
That shit was dead.
That was a great
point,
example.
to that point too. That's for they make that for kids, but that's really for adults because don't no 3-year-old
It is.
ain't no 3-year-old supposed to be looking at dead skeletons walking around.
Right. Yeah.
But it's true.
Those cultures like celebrate death. It's not like
It's Day of the Dead. That's
Yeah.
the point. The Day of the Dead. They celebrate that. They have parades for 3 days. Man.
It's more like a graduation than anything. Like
And so that's to your point too. I don't want to overstep or anything, but I do think that in our in this world, in our body form, everything's physical, right? Everything's physical. Everything is material things, and I don't think it's a thin line between aspiring for your physical and material things and worshiping them, right? Because I think that we deserve to have the best. I think we should always yearn for wanting more and having the best, but we can't idolize it, And I think that's where it goes because if you're praising something, and this ain't even supposed to be what's the best out here. Like when we're not of this world anymore, it's supposed to be a blessing. It's supposed to be something that's better than what we have in this material world because it's spiritual. It's something that's transcending physicality. So I just I don't talk about this too much, but I'm just like I don't like when people praise the physical world and praise the material world. And if you and I ain't even want you could just listen to rappers, man. Rappers is like, this is the only thing I got. Like they're like fuck the afterlife. This is my afterlife. Like I don't care what happened after this. Like I know I was fucking evil. I know what I did. They like, and you can hear it in their raps. They're like, this is my life. Like I don't know. Like,
so they gonna level down when it's their time to expire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like it's almost like they feel their soul, man.
Yeah, but you can already see that.
Yeah, but what you were saying is real though, Randall, because they say like even if you experience in the physical life, like let's say you was a rich man and like let's just say you was like a super famous rapper and you experienced all the lust of the physical life, but you embraced it. You didn't like try to detach yourself, because that's the key thing that you was talking about, Paul. Like you can enjoy the physical things in life, but you have it's like the law of detachment. Right. When you feel when you feel, what's the word, man? Tied to it, like you can't I can't think of the word right now, but it's a word where it's like you feel like ownership over physical things. You feel like you can't live without it. Like that's when it becomes a problem. You can enjoy something, but understand that it's not yours, and understand that that's not meant to last forever. You see what I'm saying? And once you gain that understanding, that's when you don't get so tired. Like you're right, we do deserve to enjoy all the fucking beautiful things that this physical life give us, but we just can't make that's what life is all about. You know what I'm saying? And and that's really what a lot of that shit is. And back to the point you were saying, Randall, as far as like that thing is like, if you experience like all the lusts, and like you said, let's say you quote unquote sold your soul, then you're gonna live life in another life. You're gonna reincarnate as a poor man who ain't never had shit, and you're gonna die that way. You see what I'm saying? So you can understand the spectrum. So that will be in your consciousness. Those understandings will be in your consciousness when you reincarnate again. You see what I'm saying? Because you saw both sides. You see what I'm saying?
That's kind of fucked up.
This is all hypothetical.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
Hypothetical.
If you're poor now, you're a poor man after the fact, and now you're seeing the next rich man flashing, and it's now that's a want because you're seeing it. You gotta be not tempted to live that same life again.
Yeah, but the key thing is that I'll talk about this a lot. Like you can be a poor man and a rich man. That don't mean nothing, because at the end of the day, a poor man can be out here committing crimes and be like, "Oh, I'm poor. Like I have a justified reason to do that." Yep. That still measures what's in his heart, because every nigga who poor ain't out here robbing and killing. You see what I'm saying? Yep. And the same thing with a rich man. I'm rich, so I can use my money to take advantage of you. The nigga who uses his money to take advantage of you, and the nigga who ain't got shit and be like, "Oh, I don't have money that justifies me to criminalize you," they're no fucking different. They gonna keep reincarnating. You see what I'm saying? And experience that shit. Like if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're stuck in that room.
Makes perfectly good sense.
One wild ass theory that I have, like when so like everybody say like they see the light when they die.
Yeah, the tunnel.
Yeah, some tunnel. All right, so like, what if every time somebody die and you see the light, then boom, that light, and it's you open your eyes the first time when you're born. Like,
That's
it's
That'd be dope. That's dope. I never thought about that.
That's
That's
crazy.
dope.
That's so
That's dope.
possible though.
Yeah, because they say
Like
you know
that
how
light
they
you
say
saw
your
was when you
life
came out the womb.
flashes?
but like that trauma from that transition, you forget everything.
But
Yeah,
what if that's real though? Like, what if that was like that literally when you came out the womb, that was like from one death to a new life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. But that why not? You know what I'm saying?
And
Why not?
I mean, there's a lot of like scriptures and all type of religion that talk about like the light and you coming from the light and all that. So
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
and then shit, I don't.
Oh. All right, here's another thing. Since we on this the flight room and shit. Since you talking about we coming from the light. Now, have you ever heard of the concept that like our sperm is a condensed light? You know what I'm saying? Like it's our light. It's like our light force energy that comes from our mind. Like it's formed in our mind, and it's the most condensed, pure form of our spiritual expression is our sperm. That's why we can create children with that. You see what I'm
I've
saying?
always heard.
Like if you take our thought forms and just condense that shit all the way down to a physical liquid, like boom, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, boom.
that's what your sperm, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, though.
Literally alive.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Like what y'all think? What you think about that though?
I mean, I've always heard the term light force, but I never thought of it actual like light.
Yeah. Yo, they say that though. It's your life force.
That's what it is. Your life force energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why you be so fucking gassed after you do it.
Yeah.
Exactly, nigga. That shit takes so much energy out of you, bro.
Yeah.
But they say that shit comes from your brain. They say that shit comes from your brain and goes down your spine, out your nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Have like
amazing.
Like a vitamin chart of how many like vitamins it equals to. Like you busting a nut, it's like 10 oranges. Like,
but that shit's probably real, man.
No, dude, it's like it's so
I believe all
drained. I swear to God. I swear.
And that's also why like you be having that moment of clarity afterwards. You be like, man, why am I doing this?
That's real. That's real though. That's real. I'm telling you.
Have you ever done it and then afterwards felt like, damn, I shouldn't even wasted that?
Yes, I've definitely been there.
Yes.
I've definitely been there.
I swear to God, sometimes like, you don't do that.
Right.
I shouldn't even do that. No, yeah, seriously.
I'm gonna go vegan.
I should have held that with the chamber.
It's called post-nut clarity. It's like
it's a real thing though, man.
It is.
Talk about a blessing.
That's a very real thing.
No, seriously.
Oh man.
There's going to be some doctors in the comments on this next episode, man. I swear.
Yeah, I'm funny as shit, man. He said something is really wrong with me. Why am I doing this?
Even since we speaking on this type of shit, like, so do y'all think there's life on other planets or like in other galaxies?
That's what I was about to add.
Like things of that nature.
Like if we
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. If we reincarnating, why are we reincarnating in this like world? This blue globe. Why are we doing that? Why are we ain't going to other places?
All right, theory on this one, right? So what if the Earth is a body and it's like a cell's reproducing? You know what I'm saying? It's like we're cells reproducing within the body. You see
Damn,
what I'm
I never
saying?
heard that.
Earth is a body itself. You feel me?
Like one big organism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Earth is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Because think about that shit. Like if we're living things, I was thinking about this shit. So if we're living things, right? Everything that we eat in order to sustain ourselves is a living thing. Like right, even the plants, meat, everything we eat that sustain ourselves is living. We eat candy, that's not really to sustain ourselves. That's just because it tastes good. Other bullshit, just because it tastes good. But everything we eat, we use it as a living thing in order to sustain ourselves. So how can we not be within a living thing if we have to eat living things in order to sustain ourselves? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of like
a whole lot of goddamn things. Because like even like because like you said, the Earth is like a living thing. It's
right.
Like even like you take like crystals and stuff like that. They come from the Earth, and it's been scientifically proven that crystals are like they're living fucking things. You know what I'm saying? And they like it's crazy how like all that shit is like everything is like connected to the same goddamn thing, and it's
Well, even within what you're saying right there, Brian, right? All right, so you talking about crystals, right? Crystals naturally come from the earth. Like what is salt? Salt is a crystal, right? When you
right.
sweat, what is on your skin? Your skin, you have sweaty ass salt. If you go to the most micro fucking forms of that salt, you produce salt yourself. You see what I'm saying? The
Right.
earth produces salt. So it's all one within the same, within the same,
Right.
within the same, without the same, without the same, without the same, without the same. It's like
Right.
that's how this shit kind of works.
So why wouldn't it be like that on other planets? Other planets, like we know that they're like, and it's crazy how like we grew up thinking that there was just 9 planets, right? Like, and this was the only fucking solar system, and now like we fucking know that was a goddamn lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now we know like there's like they done found like 10 or 15 like exoplanets and shit, like exo Earths and shit in different galaxies. So what would be the point of that? Like everything has its own a purpose, right?
Yeah.
What would be the purpose of another planet billions of light years away that ain't got nothing to do with us?
Exactly.
What would be the purpose of that?
And just like you said, man,
that's real.
It's millions of galaxies, planets, and we're all discovering. We ain't the only ones out here. Come on.
Ain't a million is
it's impossible.
It's infinite. And that shit don't stop.
It is. Even look at it like if let's say you a cell inside a dog, you think that dog is the whole damn universe. You know what I'm saying? Don't even know that there's a trillion other dogs right next to your dog at the kennel. Like you might be the cell, a damn cell. Like you might be a goddamn goldfish cell, and you think that goldfish is the galaxy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's how this shit is just like.
And I don't think that like even like I don't even think that like on other planets they don't necessarily have to be like human beings walking around. A microorganism is a living thing. So you know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily have to be like me and you walking around and like whole societies and shit like that. It can be a microorganism on a completely different planet that we don't know about. That's still another life form. That thing uses energy. It lives, it breathes, it dies, it reproduces. That's still a living thing on another. So yeah, to answer the question, I definitely believe in that shit because I play way too much goddamn Destiny to believe that there's nothing else out there. There's these goddamn games and know what the fuck they talking about, yo.
So to that point too, just as humans, we don't want to recognize what we can't conquer. And I think that goes to why we said that there's 9 planets, because there's potentially a way we can actually reach these 9 planets. But I feel like we haven't acknowledged there is a multiverse, and I believe there is a multiverse. I believe this is one universe that we know of, and if you even you look at some of the movies, and even like Spider-Man multiverse, like I mean it's a little comical, but that shit is real, man. Like I feel like there's different segments and there's different worlds that we can't reach, and we can't even fucking go to fucking Pluto right now. So there's no way we're gonna have knowledge of other multiverses because we don't have means of reaching how far they are. Well, but my thing is too, if you look at like nuclear aspects to something, right? Like if every organism gets hit by a nuclear, whatever. I don't want to say a nuclear attack, but let's just say an anomaly, right? A nuclear anomaly happens. There's still microorganisms. To Brian's point, there's still microorganisms, there's still bacteria, and there's still insects that will live off of that shit. Yeah. And so to my point, like I definitely think that there's, minor bacteria, microorganisms, forms, algae, stuff like that are living on other planets. And to that point, if they have that type of living organisms on the planet, there's no telling what else is on that planet. You know what I mean? We're humans, and we live off of probably the easiest maintainable planet there is because we have gravity, we have air, we have H2O, we have a fucking ozone layer that's protecting us from the sun. Some of these planets don't have that shit, and so you could just imagine how tough or how how like indestructible some of these other living things are on other planets. So
And it's crazy how like
Yeah,
even like even if like you go to like the Bible, like the earth that we live in on now, and like Marcus was saying, as far as like we come from the earth, and it's stated in the Bible that we were made from, you know what I'm saying, the clay of the earth and stuff like. It's not a coincidence that that shit was said. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything ties in. Even in the book of Genesis, it says that the earth was the earth was earthless and void. So that means that this bitch has always been here, just like other planets. Like this joint has always been around. It's just there was no life here. You know what I'm saying? We at one point in time the earth was just here, and then he made it or whatever being made it into whatever it is now. But like we came, it's not like we just popped up out of nowhere. And it's not like other planets or in other galaxies, like we can't be just the exception. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. How we just gonna be the exception of everything? You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense.
yeah.
And then even to Paul's point, we got everything here: gravity, air, water. You don't think it's other planets, other dimensions? Like, hey man, Earth is popping. We gotta get the Earth. Da, 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 da. Earth got everything already. You don't think they look at it like that?
I mean,
Earth got it all.
Where in the universe is there one of anything? Just one of anything. Where
That's
in the
true.
universe is there one of anything you can think of? Just where there's just one. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
It don't exist.
Yeah, because if you
exist
even think about the stars, there's some stars that are bigger than Earth, man. So it's like, when you look at the sky at night, you see fucking millions of stars out there, and that's just what we can see.
Like a couple of days ago, NASA confirmed like they have evidence of there being a parallel universe. Like they did like some experiment in Antarctica.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And all the secrets is coming out. Why they decide to be real now? It's like
That's what.
you seen aliens, and now they talking about this shit. Like why now they decide to just let it all out?
See, I got my NASA shirt.
They said it was going like they said whatever that they did like experiment on, it proved like in this parallel universe the time is going backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like we're living in the past. They said that the light that you see from stars when you go outside at night, that light that you see is millions of years old. Like just getting here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is fucking crazy.
Yep.
Don't tell me there's no goddamn extra life. Fuck out of here.
Why does always shit come from Antarctica too? Like all like the weird shit came from Antarctica.
Antarctica, y'all. Come on, man. You know it's gotta be something in Antarctica. They acknowledge it. When we was taking tests and shit in school, we had to name all the continents. We can name Antarctica, but can't nobody go there. Like we allowed to know it exists, but nobody's allowed to know what is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Oh, even that strip of land.
Y'all know what I know the Anunnaki in Antarctica and shit. That's the reason why we can't go there.
Man of Steel. That nigga with his whole state was in Antarctica. Yeah.
I was just about to say that too. Yeah.
I don't know if any of y'all follow like the John Epstein shit, but the day like he tried to commit suicide the first time, his like plane was like seen on like radar flying over Antarctica. That's some weird shit.
Wow, that's crazy.
He got that much money, huh?
But he wasn't
actually hear that, man. Like I heard that's some deep shit.
Y'all, I want so like you saying like we came from clay and shit. Like scientists is always trying like differs from like the Bible, and they want to go like the whole like Big Bang theory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do you know that who started the Big Bang theory?
Ooh.
The Vatican.
Damn.
I could see that. Motherfucker.
They do be behind a lot of shit though. They be behind a lot of grimy shit.
Yeah. That's like totally contradictory.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a rabbit hole. We can talk about this shit all
I
day.
know.
It's like we just pulling back layers, man. We
Start
just
me up.
pulling back
Don't
layers.
You know who owns the
That
biggest
shit though, bro. That's the best shit.
you know who owns the biggest telescope?
Is it the Vatican?
The Vatican. And that shit is like in Arizona. You know what that shit is called?
The Vatican.
Nah, it's called Lucifer.
The Tower of Babel.
Crazy.
It's called Lucifer.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I heard of that. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you guys this.
The light bringer.
Why are them niggas so shady? Like, why are they like the
Vatican?
shady? Yeah, like if there's truth, okay, we know that there's power in truth. We
They
understand.
don't want to share the power.
They
don't
harbor all
care.
the truth though.
But I'm saying though, how you gonna have like damn near the keys to eternity almost, and you just like, nah, I'm gonna rape these little boys and keep it moving.
Yeah, they want to use it
Like,
for evil. They want to use it for
going on?
evil.
Yeah.
They want to use it for evil and for power, man.
They're
Control.
just trying to maintain power. That's all that shit is. All these things, all they moves is just to maintain power. But for real, I think what it is like they have pretty much like they know the keys to all the secrets. Like they know everything, and instead of using that knowledge in order to uplift the world, they using that to enslave the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
at least
The
that's what it seems
largest the largest library, they own the most artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of keys, I advise everybody in here to start fucking with crystals. It just trust me on that. Just trust me. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm serious.
That's energy. I
I'll
know
fuck
all
with
that.
crystals,
Supposed to talk to them and all that. Everything.
charge them, all that shit. Do that
They
shit.
say, they say you're supposed to talk to your water before you drink it.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
All sorts of stuff.
Like,
No, I believe that.
Marcus, you talking about like why do we need to like eat things, or like were you speaking on eating animals, or
Wait, what are you talking about? What did I say?
earlier you talking about like why do we got to eat things to like?
Oh, I was talking about that we have to eat living. We need to eat living things in order to sustain ourselves. Yeah.
You talking about
We
animals?
do everything no, not animals.
Okay.
Anything like an apple is a living thing, or orange, or asparagus, or grape. That's still a living thing. Like you still need to eat that shit to sustain yourself. It's all living. Everything you need in order to live is living. You say what?
I don't get how like vegans be like, oh, I just can't eat this chicken because it just it's so wrong. But you eat vegetables and stuff, and those are living things. So
It's true, and it's good. See, that's why I like the thing, like, when you go through certain things, is like, even I was like on that vegan shit for a little bit. I never like committed to it, but I understood. I was like, I respect that whole movement, and I still respect it. I'm not saying nothing wrong against it, but like living things is living things at the end of the day. It really don't matter what you eat. It's all about moderation. You see what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, everything that you eat is living. So even at the core of its, like its biological makeup, it's all the same shit. You know what I'm saying? There's just different variations in DNA that makes things different. But if you really pay attention, all living things is pretty much made of the same thing. It's just like I said, there's different variations in this DNA. So it really don't matter what you eat. It's all moderation. It really it's all living. It's all living things. It's all like, it don't matter. It really doesn't.
Yeah, and
I think just the whole vegan shit is people get caught up in the emotional aspect. It's like, oh, look at that, that cow, it has a heartbeat, you know what I'm saying? But it can cry, you can hear it, its pain, but you can't hear it, you can't hear an apple. But I guarantee you, because I saw something, I don't know where I saw that, but it was like, if you can take a microphone and you can like take it to the closest, like animals have a vibration. I mean, not animals, plants have a vibration. Everything makes a sound. So even if at the most micro of micro levels, an apple probably does scream when you bite into it. You just can't tell because it's at a level that we can't perceive. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, we can't perceive it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
As humans. Like if you had a super micro, like a super joint that could pick up sound on that level, you could probably hear an apple scream. You can hear a pear scream when you bite into it. You see what I'm saying? But we just can't perceive that on our level.
What if that crisp bite you get is them screaming? Whoa!
It could be though.
Oh man!
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie? What was the name of that movie? With the
sausage party.
With the hot dog and shit.
Rogan.
Yeah.
With the orgy
sausage party. See, these movies be deep. Sausage party was trying to tell y'all some shit.
Yeah.
Nah, the little animated joint where they was like eating the food and the food was like screaming like it was like a horror movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you was like mutilating it and shit, but it was just people just frying up some hot dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Oh man, that shit is crazy.
That movie was funny, man.
Yeah, what was like a vicious like animated like black movie or something like that? Like what was it? Bebe's Kids.
Oh yeah, that was
Bebe's Kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
Damn, I forgot about that
That's
joint.
a classic.
Bebe's
Remember
Kids.
that shit?
They got a new Pixar one. They got a Pixar one called Soul with Jamie Foxx coming out.
Yeah, it looked like it might be all right too. It's like
Oh
jazz
yeah, I
is
seen that.
Yeah.
I seen that.
Yeah, that shit looks straight. I'm hoping it's straight. It should be straight.
I think it's coming like Thanksgiving though.
What's y'all like favorite black movies of all time in general and shit though? Like just even outside of animated, like top 3 black movies all time. Like what y'all think?
Friday gotta be like number 1. I don't know.
Friday in mine. I ain't gonna lie.
Friday.
I'm just off the break. Friday in my shit.
Friday up there.
That's what I thought about. It was Friday. I don't know. That's just the black classic, man. Who ain't seen Friday? If you ain't seen Friday,
Life a good one.
Yeah, life is good. Life is good too.
Life is good. I think does everybody?
Life is good. Life is good. I never seen that.
No.
Oh, Life. I thought you meant like a movie called Life is Good. I thought you meant a movie called Life is Good. I was like, what the fuck is this?
They probably thought Life is Good somewhere.
I mean, I put Coming to America in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the third one. Yeah.
That's just that's
mine.
movies. And you know you got a classic on your hand when like you can turn that bitch on like midway, and you can't turn that motherfucker off. Like that, you know.
5 Heartbeats.
5 Heartbeats.
I did like the Heartbeats. That's very.
That's a classic. That's a good one.
Oh, and
New Jack City.
Yeah, New Jack City.
New Jack City. All Spike Lee movies.
And what's love got to do with it?
Malcolm X, Jungle Fever, all of them.
Man, I saw Malcolm X again last week, man. It is such a good movie, man.
Y'all was talking down on Denzel.
So Randall.
He ain't gonna let that one go.
Randall, I was watching that joint, right? And then I was watching Malcolm X in real life on tape.
You could have swapped him.
Man, it seemed like he was Malcolm X better than Malcolm X was. Man. I'm not lying. Like Denzel becomes his character, bro. Like I believe him so much. When
that walk he had was mean,
man. Mean.
I'm not trying to get off topic at all, but just because you said that, did you hear about how actors be like summoning the spirits of like when they play like certain characters? They literally like actors be summoning like calling on the spirit of who they're trying to act as and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy though.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Especially when they do biographies, you know what I'm saying? Like they literally try to become that character.
Yeah. That's wild though.
Yeah.
But I believe it.
I got some crazy ones in my top categories for black movies. Great Debaters. That was one of my jumps.
Never saw that.
That movie is so good, dog. That's a good movie.
Great Debaters. Like I know it's not your typical black film. Like we talk about like the New Jack City, the Harlem Nights, and like because it's not one of them jumps. But at the same time, like that jump was always like resonated with me because it made you think about like life outside that time period, but also like using your brain and being able to debate with these niggas and all the trials and tribulations that they went to down south. That jump was tough for me. I don't necessarily know if it's considered a true black movie all the way through and through, but Creed. I know we had a black director on that jump, Creed, and that jump hit home with that. with the bike scene. With the bike scene and running through the streets with the four wheelers. That
Hey,
jump,
man.
and then it didn't end like a normal like you know what I'm saying, like movie that somebody like that's right.
I was like, how he get that backdrop?
Right.
You know that's a Philly cat. Anything Philly in the building. Anything Philly.
And then also I'm gonna throw Hardball in there too.
Hardball. What
Hardball
the
with G baby.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Once again, I know that's not a true black movie. Like, I mean, those just like some bonus jumps, like that we don't necessarily. Like,
a black
that
movie.
jump was real because it was like
House Party.
It was in Chicago.
House Party.
House Party.
Yep,
House Party. House Party 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Both them joints. And Class Act. You can throw Class Act in there too.
Oh yeah, that's.
Did y'all watch these movies as kids though? Did y'all watch these movies as kids?
Yeah.
Because I feel like why was we watching more movies that like was there less kids movies back then? Because I was watching all this shit. Like I went to the movie theater with my dad to go see Players Club. You know? Like that's
as initiation.
Candyman. That shit was
Yeah, that joint was
you
dope.
consider
They better come out
Candyman
with
a
a new
black
one.
movie?
That was like 98.
Yeah.
I don't mess with the slave movies like that, but I'm gonna have to put Rosewood in that joint. That
I
joint
never
was,
saw Rosewood.
that joint. You ain't never seen Rosewood? That joint make you want to go outside and slap somebody. I'm trying to tell you. That joint.
All them slave movies make you want to do that. That's why I can't even watch those, man.
Don't fuck with them.
You know, it was a good ass movie. Set It Off.
Yeah, it was.
That's a black movie.
Set It Off was a good movie.
Yeah, Set It Off.
That was dominantly black, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised nobody said none of the 90s movies that we grew up on. The 11 Basketball, The Wood. What was that?
Yeah.
Best man.
Shit, Best Man.
So
I fuck with The Wood the most though. The Wood was my shit.
Down here, South Carolina.
Got Poetic Justice too.
Yeah.
All the John Singleton jumps.
Like
Yeah,
shit.
all of them.
The Higher Learning Jones.
Hey, what was that joint? What was that movie? I can't think of the name of it. When they was all black cowboys and shit, and Mario Van Peebles was like the main nigga, and they was going around like, and I think Big Daddy Kane was in it. That shit movie was vicious though. Remember? And they was literally like black cowboys.
The posse.
That shit. The posse. That shit.
Yeah.
Man, that movie. Have y'all seen that? Y'all need to watch that shit. Like, man,
I ain't never seen that. I'm gonna put that on the list to watch though.
Yeah, I'm putting that on.
I think I
list
know
right now. I need to watch that shit.
Yeah, that joint was tough. Ain't had another black cowboy movie after that, I don't think. Shit.
Nah.
I was gonna say something smart.
Say that shit.
I was too.
Hey, it's about Will Smith again. Wild Wild West. Man.
Oh yeah, Wild West.
Right. I want a black movie.
That's
though.
my man.
I know. That's why I didn't even say it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That was Hollywood.
Oh man. You know, it was a good movie.
He did do Ali though.
Yeah, he did though. And that was good too.
He crushed Ali.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably his best movie. And like I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Really?
Or Pursuit of Happiness was good too.
7 pounds.
Yeah.
I never saw I Am Legend, but I heard it was trash. I heard I Am Legend was trash. Like, and I
It
never
was a
saw
remake.
it. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I heard a lot of people say it was bad.
Nah.
For real,
probably
I
just
gotta
didn't like
see
the
it. I've
ending.
never
It was-
seen
it
it.
was
That's what
alright.
I just heard.
The ending was good though.
The black scientist, you know.
I didn't like that he had to die. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't have to. That was the whole point.
Exactly.
Nah, that was a good movie, man.
Yeah.
7 pounds is the best movie. 7 pounds is the best movie.
7 pounds. I've seen it like once. I gotta watch it again.
No, I do too. I really do. That thing like 3 hours.
Hancock is a black movie.
Yeah,
He a
black
black
superhero.
superhero.
Why he gotta be drunk though?
You don't think Hancock was a black movie?
No,
He was hurting, man. He needed therapy.
he was a black. He was the only black actor in the joint, and then his wife was white.
Yep, true.
Jungle Fever.
That
2.0.
joint Ray Charles with Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah.
Ah, yeah,
That
yeah,
was good.
That was a hell of a movie.
yeah. I'm gonna make it do what it do, baby.
All the ones Chadwick Boseman did.
Hell yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Chadwick Boseman got himself a nice little catalog, man.
I
Do y'all
think
consider Black Panther a black movie?
extremely overrated.
Really?
I got that written down.
For sure.
I wrote that down.
Hold
Oh,
up, Randall said Chadwick Boseman is overrated.
Extremely overrated.
Let's
You
hear
said
it. Let's hear
overrated?
it. Do tell.
Black Panther or Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah, like outside of Black Panther, what has he done?
Thurgood Marshall, 42.
Yeah, 42 was dope.
Yeah. The James Brown joint was great too.
Okay,
James Brown was dope
I give
too.
James Brown. That's my movie. I fuck with
Yeah.
that.
That one was cool.
Did you see
Yeah.
Thurgood Marshall? The Thurgood Marshall joint?
I haven't.
Like he literally, like the same way y'all was talking about people be going and summoning and channeling their energies. Like he literally finds a way to be that character, and like
Yeah, he killed James Brown. I ain't gonna say. He killed the James
dancing like
Brown.
him and all that. That was crazy.
Yeah,
He did a Netflix joint too. I think it was like Call the King or something. That joint was dope.
that joint was trash.
Yeah, like that joint.
Oh, when he had to save his sister. I ain't like that. I ain't like that.
And the 16 blocks jump or whatever he did. What was the jump? Or the
It was alright. Yeah, it was alright.
16 bridges. That shit was trash.
21.
Yeah, it was alright.
21 bridges.
He just got to stick to Marvel now.
He was doing like a Denzel like impersonation on the movie. 21. He sounded just like him. Oh, what I'm mad about is, did y'all hear they redoing Scarface and Michael B. Jordan might be the star of the shit?
Oh hell.
Nah, impossible.
I like Michael
I
B.
heard a couple of years ago they were supposed to be redoing it, but they was going to use Denzel.
Actor, man. I'm sorry.
Not
But
for Scarface.
I'm with it if they use Denzel. I'm with it.
It's
That's
gonna
what I heard
be
a
a whole
couple
new
of years ago.
story, though, right?
I don't know.
I hate
assuming
when
it's
they
gonna be a
do
whole new story. It's not
Whole new
gonna
story,
be
don't-
like a what's it called, a sequel or nothing.
Right.
Uh,
I hate remakes.
Don't use
Maybe
it.
it's when he in Cuba or some shit. I don't know.
It
I
could be a
hate
black
remakes.
Cuban.
Don't even do it.
That'd be tough to use a black Cuban.
I heard like Michael B. and or Chadwick Boseman supposed to do like that first Black Samurai shit. They got like a movie for that coming out.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, something crazy.
They need Michael
Check out
Jai
some
White
shit
for
like
that. They need Michael Jai White for
Black
that.
Samurais was a real thing, so I'd
Yeah.
fuck with some shit like that.
Not like
Do y'all
Last
track
Samurai.
y'all track 007? I'm like I'm a 007 fanatic, and they talk about
Idris.
there's three. Yeah, there's three potential actors that's going to play the next 007. It's between three of them and three Caucasian, of course. So we don't know for sure. But Idris Elba
Idris is
one of them.
Yeah, I thought Idris
That's my
was
number one
gonna
pick
get
for me.
already had it.
They already finished one though. They already finished
Yeah,
one.
that's what I thought.
But it's not Idris. It's like a black woman.
It's
Oh,
a
really?
Yeah.
really.
Ooh, I like
Finished
All
it.
right,
The
see,
one that's already-
we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna have that conversation. We're gonna keep it moving. You know what they trying to do. I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what they trying to do.
Get us sliding in the comments.
I think
Yeah.
that's dope, though. I don't even mind that, honestly.
Yeah.
They probably gonna use you know how they got the girl like that assistant chick who's gonna be.
Oh
in this
yeah, that always be like by his side. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that. She was in one of the other ones too. She was like in the last one or the one before.
Or they might get one of the the girls from Black Panther, because they can play that type of role.
I can see that.
They're gonna get Taraji P. She played
Fuck no.
from her Proud Mary days.
Don't do that. Don't do
She has
that.
to, oh man, she doesn't
See
deserve
the
that.
American Connect. See the American Connect.
Black Samurai is Yasuki.
Okay,
That's what it's called.
Yeah. It's a real story.
nah, I mess with that. I gotta stand like that at them.
Gotta throw Wesley Snipes in there.
What movies do you guys
Wesley Band.
What movies
You
do you
bang?
guys wish that like they made remakes of, but if they do it, they got to do it right? Like, what's one remake you would like to see?
Well, Corey Wesley Snipes, they redoing Blade with Marsha.
Hey, that's gonna be straight then. That's gonna be straight.
That's gonna be tight.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough, especially now CGI and shit.
Taking over the shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would like Spawn.
No moves though. You don't even know no moves though.
I would like to see do Spawn, but if they gonna do Spawn, they gotta do that joint super duper right.
They did
Sponsor.
say they're gonna do stunt. They
It's
said
gonna
they're
be
doing
hard though,
more
because
combat too.
who gonna get a better martial artist than Michael Jai White? You ain't gonna get no like he's one of the
Exactly.
best in the world. That's gonna be a tough act to follow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you can't live up to it, just don't do the shit.
They need to come out
Get
with the
one of
Last
them
Dragon.
UFC bombers to do it.
Yeah, they probably use somebody like Stylebender or some shit. Somebody.
Right. Yeah.
I fuck with
But
him.
Hey, Israel be vicious.
Yeah.
That'd be sick if they use him. That's
Yeah.
and he's smart, like he's well spoken, like so I can see him playing it off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. A lot of them dudes is like that. It's crazy. Just killers.
And ain't that wild? Like a lot of them, like UFC niggas, they be brutal, but when they open their mouth to speak, they be all eloquent and shit. You like,
That's like their therapy, beating ass. Like these dudes are like regular dudes, but that's like their therapy, like getting to legally beat the shit out of somebody.
Man, I'll tell you what. I was it was 5 years ago. I was working as it was like a IT cloud computing and cyber optics. And the guy right next to me, he was a MMA fighter, right? And so he's smart as hell.
Yeah.
But he was an MMA fighter, so he used to be gone for 3 days, and then we would see him, and he'd have like a black eye, like busted lip, a scratch on his forehead. And the boss would come around and be like, man, you ain't have to come in like that. Like, just stay home. But he was like, nah, it's what I do. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I ain't ashamed. I'm going to come in and, I'm going to do my work and I'm going to leave. Damn.
Fight
You're
Club.
bleeding. You're bleeding on the desk. Get out of here.
It's crazy. And he was like one of the like renowned kickboxers. So like he would show us like some of his fights and stuff. I was like, bro, you just did that like 2 days ago. How are you in the office? Like,
Exactly. How are your legs not beat down right now?
Yeah.
Like, how are you walking? It's crazy.
but that's this sport. That's like LeBron. He said it's like LeBron playing a finals game and then just coming to work like 2-3 days later. He's like, it's routine. So I had a lot of respect for that.
Nah,
who
real
beating
talk.
that Francis Ngannou nigga though? Like who's beating his ass? Like he
Yeah.
be taking niggas.
John Jones trying to fight him.
Like that nigga scary as shit. Like I don't know how nobody. I just can't see how like he a beast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember there was a conversation that was like who hits harder between him and Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't
like, I
know.
don't know. That last fight said a lot.
Yeah.
He folded.
I mean,
that nigga was gone in seconds.
Even if he like he can eat a shot too. He can like take his. That's the thing about them dudes. They can take like your best shot. It's like if you don't drop them with your best shot, like it's curtains.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Just putting everything into a shot and somebody just eats that shit? Please.
And I was thinking about that shit. Like when I watched that fight, the last night with Ngannou, I was like, the homeboy was training for months for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to get taken out in like 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn.
Like knew how strong he was and everything. Like
And
He was
risk is
training
life.
for months, bro. He was training
Risk
for
is
months
life.
for that shit.
yeah. And it is, you are risking your life, man. You risking brain damage. You risking TKOs, like bloody noses, all that.
Not a good look.
Just not.
He risked getting on the plane with Corona.
Yeah.
And then they need to bring back Last Dragon. That'd be a tough movie to bring back.
Did y'all see that? You saw that
Yeah.
Bruce
They
Lee
need to do
movie
that
they tried to redo or whatever? Or not that they tried to redo, but they did a Bruce Lee movie. I forgot what it's called. It might just be called Bruce Lee or some shit with some dude. And it's like him in San Francisco and shit coming up before he actually started making movies and shit like that.
Oh no, I gotta listen to that.
It's
Well,
new.
you know his son, I think his son's named Brandon Lee. He did a couple remakes. He tried to do a couple remakes and add-ons.
And then he got shot too, didn't he?
He died on the same day as Nipsey Hussle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Not literally the same, like March 31st.
Is that the one that died that did the crow?
Nah, they said that it was somebody put I guess they was doing the shoot and somebody put a live bullet in the gun, so he got killed. He got killed on set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the dude from the Crow.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a ritual. I ain't saying nothing though.
You know what's wild about the word Hollywood? Like it's like the holly tree is like used for ritualistic magic, and that's how I got its name.
I heard that before. Yeah, that's wild.
Say it again. Say it again.
The holly tree used to be used for like ritualistic magic, and when they put those together, that's how they got Hollywood.
Mm.
You know how like witches and shit used to use a little stick.
Yeah, witchcraft shit. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dog, you know what else is crazy? I was watching Animal Planet. Did y'all know that pigeons commit suicide?
I know
That's serious. Pigeons commit suicide. So look, keep this. So like, let's say if a male pigeon, right, mates with a female pigeon, right, and they mate and they together, right. But then if that male pigeon sees that same female pigeon mate with another male pigeon, that male pigeon will just like commit suicide to show like how frustrated it is. It would just like go like really fucking hot and just like drop and fucking kill itself. That shit is fucking crazy, dog.
Man, that sounds like a soap opera. So what does she do?
I was dog. Me and my son was sitting here and I was like, yo, this shit can't be real. On Animal Planet, motherfucking pigeons committing suicide. Ain't that about a bitch?
I'm not about to just off myself like that, man. Pigeons just offing themselves.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because most animals are not even monogamous, so that's crazy.
Right, that's what I thought. I'm like, yo, this pigeon is wild. It was crazy. I'm like, nah, this is wild, yo.
Is that like in a culture? Like that's what they all do, or is that just like one? Like is that like that's what they all do? Like all the male fish.
I don't know.
That's fucked up. I don't want to be a pigeon, dog.
I don't know if it was a specific species, but this pigeon off itself.
Yeah, imagine reincarnating as one of them niggas.
That's
like,
what
I do not want to reincarnate as one of them shit.
Hell no. You know what else I don't want to reincarnate as?
A fucking dung beetle.
You know what else? You know what else?
A dung beetle.
A fucking seahorse.
Oh yeah.
Because they give birth.
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Like how is a male supposed
man.
to give birth, bro?
Yeah, that's for them.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I can
ain't it like a species of spiders or something that like or a praying mantis or some shit where they after they mate with the male they cut his head off?
Yeah.
What's that? That joint?
Black
Like
Widow.
as soon as they get impregnated, they cut the male's head off.
That's the spider, Black
Yeah,
Widow.
yeah. Fucking sick.
Wow. Yo, nature be wild.
Niggas get shitted on in nature, dog.
You just sacrifice everything to die. Yeah.
That's why you want to be a lion or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Do shit.
Yeah, they don't do nothing. They don't even hunt.
They just fight. They fight like
you gotta want to be like a lion or something.
And
All they do is just get it in.
all day.
They be having like about 5-6 females for themselves, like, and they just be good. Like that's about it. And they
All you gotta do is protect the herd. That's it.
Exactly. They gotta scrap every now and then.
Yeah.
You scrap probably 2 times a month. That's it.
Go get my food.
Bust a couple nuts and be out.
Oh man.
Hey, the funny thing about that though is they be going for like 3-5 seconds and they be done. Like fuck this shit.
They literally just hold it. They get the best part of the nut and then they done. That's why.
Now think about it, man. They
just lay there.
and then that finally let that jump go. They thought process.
They bust a nut and then watch the sunset.
Hey, that might be a good life though, for real. If you think about it, though, like you know what I'm saying.
That's why they be so tired. They life force never get to build up, and so when they they should be on E. So when they bust, that should be on. Like,
Hey, that's real though. That's why they get to eat first and all that.
like
Oh man.
Terrible life force.
Oh man, lions busting nuts. Wow.
Y'all wanna get rid of
I want to get back into like, all right, so y'all saying like it may be microorganisms on other planets. Why y'all not coming out and fully saying, yes, motherfucker, there are aliens?
Honestly, I think the reason why they don't tell us that because they want us to have this sense of arrogance just as a people to feel like we're above. Like I think they want us to have that sense of arrogance, like to not think that there's other life forms out there. Think that we're above everything and we're perfect and we can do no wrong and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? I think when you have a bunch of arrogance, that just causes more and more division. Simple as that.
I think it's the money. I don't think it's the arrogance. I think it's the money. Because if we find out there's some niggas out here that's traveling millions of light years away without having to fucking put gasoline in that bitch or some other shit, you know what I'm saying? I think it's the money. I think when we find out, if everybody were to find out that there's some technology out here that'll help everybody, you know what I'm saying, just with day-to-day life, I think that's the end of society as we know it. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of society as we know it. Everything will, and it also goes with like religion. That's everything. The end of society as we know it. Niggas ain't gonna go to work.
I mean, and
Like, dog.
even to piggyback off, yeah.
I agree with.
I mean, even to piggyback off what you're saying. Yeah, even to piggyback off what you're saying, I think even for them to make us feel like there's no other life forms, it's like, all right, if let's say that some fucking other life form came to Earth that's doing shit humans ain't doing, they're gonna be like, nigga, why should I listen to you? And this nigga just came from like, 10 trillion light years away. You see what I'm saying? So they gotta make us feel like, only a man could achieve the highest forms of existence. You know what I'm saying?
It's the ignorance, man. It's the ignorance.
But why are they showing us these UFOs and shit now?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, because they're coming. They are coming.
We about to find out.
Are they really coming?
Here. Oh,
they've been here, but they're coming. They're about to come far, man.
Have you ever gone on it? So I was thinking about that conversation we was having the other day when we said we saw them UFOs by Bowie State. So I went on and I typed in UFO sightings by Bowie State. I literally typed that shit in, UFO sightings by Bowie State. And it didn't say specifically about Bowie State, but it brought up the little website where you can literally look up people's UFO sightings. And them shits is common as hell. Like, nigga, if it just go, I forgot, just type in like UFO sightings in Maryland. It's a website. And like a lot of the shit that people be seeing, it be like the same shit. Like if you go down the list, the descriptions be like almost the same descriptions. And I seen joints that say like white orbs and red orbs and triangles and lights moving together and all kinds of shit. But look at it. You can look at it right now as we speak, and you'll see like UFO sightings that happened like real recently. So that shit happens a lot.
Man, like I'm saying, I just think it's to make you more aware of it now. They here, man. They here. They coming. I don't know what they gonna want, but
I just don't know what's the purpose of the government showing us that, knowing that we've been knew they had, everybody has these sightings. Everybody had these sightings. So what's the point of them putting it out for themselves that they?
It's probably about to be a scandal. They just want to get ahead of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and this, I don't think this answers your question fully, Randall. But if you look at SpaceX, and this is Elon Musk's division, he already has billions of dollars that they bid on to travel to Mars.
Yeah.
And so that's money. You know what I mean? Like for somebody to think that there's something hovering above us, or like there's potential of seeing something that nobody else has seen on this earth. I think the bidding war goes higher and higher on that. Because that's the only part of the answer, but I think it is more to it. I just don't know what it is.
Y'all watch them launches?
Yeah, them shit's sick, man.
That shit look fake as fuck to me.
That's just sick.
So,
but see, if you look at exactly where they're located, they can see from telescopes and stuff where that blast off is taking place. But it's very restricted too. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? who's gonna say, yeah, I worked for SpaceX and this is what I saw?
That shit look. I don't know. When I look at it with my own two eyes, that shit look fake to me. When they be showing those launches, especially how like it's like a rocket like this, and they come down,
Mhm.
blast off, and then come back down on the same pod like that. That shit look fake. I ain't believing that shit.
Flat Earth, baby. Flat Earth. It's a flat Earth.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about.
I don't know, but maybe I don't know. Like, to answer your question, I think that maybe I don't know, maybe the powers to be just feel as though it's time. Like you can't hide shit but for so long. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
They've been doing it. So like, why now? Like, I don't understand.
maybe they feel as though, okay, maybe the masses, we can't, like, it's like your kids. Like, you could play a magic trick on your kids when like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't
Santa
I ain't
Claus.
like a magician. You know what I'm saying? But when my kids were much smaller than they were, younger than they are now, I used to act like I was a magician. Now I try to do that, they be like, "Cuz, this shit's right behind your back." You know what I'm saying? So it's like they grow up and they become wiser. And I feel as though, like, our generation will just, the masses now, we're more wise. We have access to more things, and we're more wiser as a population. And it's just like, I don't know. Just like Buddha said,
I agree.
nothing can be hidden. There's only three things can not be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. It's nothing. You can't deny that shit. You know.
All right. So what's somebody towards the truth?
What I was gonna say, just to piggyback off Brian, I would say if it's either that or the niggas from outer space is saying it's time, because they didn't. It's superior technology.
They've been showing themselves. I'll give
Yeah. They don't care. They didn't worry about shit. You think that they think they're worried about the law? They're not worried about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please.
Your man-made law. Get out of here.
Like, what are you fucking talking about? Yeah. I can
That's real,
beam
though.
you
That's some real
right
ass shit.
now.
They don't operate on our human shit.
I mean, like, the
Them
thing
niggas.
is, like, at this point, like, they did release all that footage recently, and it was by the military. So at this point, what is it going to take for, like, the human race to believe it? Because they showed it and people was like, okay, sure. But, like, what is it going to take now for people to be like, hand on their head and shit? Like,
I think it would take some Hollywood shit. The worst case scenario, niggas trying to come and take some shit
that's
over.
what I'm trying to get to. They're gonna. I think it's gonna be a stage type dilemma where they're gonna use, like Project Bluebeam. They're gonna use some type of hologram. You've seen like the holograms at Coachella the last few years.
They already showed you.
They're gonna project something in the sky, and then it's gonna be like a fake alien invasion, or it's gonna be like the second coming of Christ, and they're gonna use that to their advantage.
No, that's true.
And speaking of, and I think that you're right, and like you said, like you just said, like everybody most people, they have a religion, right? And like you said, they just starting to release this type of stuff. And the only reason why they like kept the shit a secret is because like everybody operates off of fear. You know what I'm saying? And religion is one of the main streams of like promoting like fear into people, like heaven, hell, or like don't do bad, or this will happen to you type thing. And I think that if they do something like that, like if they were to show like they're fucking aliens from like another planet, like it would discredit religion. Mostly all the religions will be discredited because it's like, all right, well, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Like what is a person who believes in Jesus Christ and all he knows is the Bible, and all of a sudden here's this being from another light year away coming down? It's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck am I supposed to say about what is your pastor going to say about that? What can your pastor tell you?
But aliens been documented going back to like biblical times and all that. Even back to
I was about to say it's still life forces that aren't explained, but and nowhere in the Bible it say that we the only people on Earth or that we are the only inhabitants.
Yep.
They don't push that in church.
Yeah.
Control.
Yeah, so it is fear-based society.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, I even think even the fact that even in like, you know, some religions that they'll say like if you do bad then you'll be punished. It's like instead of teaching, so people are doing, it's like people are doing good out of fear rather than doing good because it's actually a positive thing. So
Yeah,
you're not teaching people do good because of a positive outcome that can come from it. You're teaching people do good because you'll be punished,
yeah.
which means that they don't really connect with you know doing good
Purpose.
deeds. They're just doing good
Yeah.
so they won't be punished. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's just a disservice within itself right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole bet God has with the devil. That's the whole bet.
Yep. And I think it's more like it's kind of like to your passion. You know what I mean? Like I forgot somebody said the point that if you find a job that you love or if you find a passion, that you work for, it's almost like not working. And that's the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're doing it out of your goodness and making the society better and moving society up and, out of the goodness of your heart rather than out of fear, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be more motivation and it's gonna help the world, not just your single, motive. So that makes sense.
So what if like all this well, that's just a theory. Like all this other life forms is just part of the, parallel universe shit. And they just have the ability to pop in, pop out. And there's no really way to explain the shit. And all these UFO sightings is something that's man-made.
Do you believe in wormholes and black holes?
I mean,
Yes.
it has to be. That's something that's been like documented like way
Yeah.
back. Like
Then
even
they said
how
the
like
Bermuda Triangle.
yeah, and then how like
Yeah.
all them Aztecs and the Mayans just disappeared.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I believe it. I believe in that shit too.
Even City of Cydonia, they said that shit's like that too. You know that shit from Mars to Egypt and all that.
pyramids on Mars. I mean the term what was it Cairo?
Yeah,
Cairo
Cairo means Egypt. Yep.
No, Cairo means Mars, or was it?
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, just like you said, it's the same outline as Egypt on
Yeah.
Mars.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
Like that movie, the original Stargate. How they was.
Oh yeah, that joint was cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joint was dope.
That shit was tight.
Yeah.
Remember the movie Contact with the
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah.
that joint was tight.
That was tight.
Quote from that movie. What was it? If there were no, was it no? If we were the only ones out here, then that's a whole lot of waste of space or whatever. If we the only ones here,
Yeah.
gotta be
That's what I
something.
was saying. It doesn't make sense for the like it just doesn't make sense. Niggas is
Yeah,
lying.
for there to be a multiverse and no other life forms, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Hey, since y'all was talking about Egypt, do y'all think that the pyramids and everything, do you think those were built by slaves?
No.
Slave labor?
No.
Nah, I think it's by Egyptian architects.
The pyramids predate Egyptian, like
aliens.
Like so we saying it wasn't a bunch of Bamas in sandals pulling these massive tons of rock and sandals in the sand.
The physical impossibility.
Impossible. I agree.
Impossible.
Is it impossible though?
That's what
I
they
don't think
teaching.
some of it's impossible.
Is it impossible though?
I think
That's
it's the
what they teaching.
succession.
Hey, it was hot as hell in the desert, niggas. Like,
Exactly. It's hot as hell.
All right, it was impossible to do it in the amount of time that it was done.
Right, but if you look at some of them too, it's a succession because some of them are dated to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago, but some aren't that old. So it's like
I'm talking about the great ones.
Oh yeah.
But not even just in the time that it was done, just the way they said it was done. Like they're sliding limestone across wood. Where are they getting the wood from? That's what I want to know. Where are they getting the wood from?
Well, Egypt wasn't always a desert. That shit became a desert. Like before that, it was like vegetation and trees and lakes and all kinds of
yeah.
like shit.
That's why everybody
got like that.
Yeah.
Hey P, remember the movie Prometheus?
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that
shit
movie
tough.
freaky.
That shit was crazy.
Ridley Scott.
Yep, crazy.
That should make you think
Too
about
dark.
it too.
But that's the thing. Like these directors, these writers, all these movie makers, they always take a piece of the truth and they put them in the
Yep.
movies and put it in plain sight. And
Yeah.
believe,
I
oh,
feel like that's
nigga, you heard that shit from a movie.
I think the fucking Avengers was just like that Endgame shit was just like in your face.
Yeah.
If you don't get this shit, then you just dumb as hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game was tough.
A lot of Steven Spielberg movies too.
Mm-hmm.
It should be based off the truth too, man.
It's like what's the
Spielberg.
jump?
Ready Player One.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Ready Player One.
Actually, terrestrial stuff.
Oh, he did that, John? Okay.
close
Yeah, I
encounters.
got log
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
He used real scientists in the movie that told him about this. Even what was the Indiana Jones, the Spielberg Jones with the crystal skulls? That's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
All them skulls spread around the planet.
Yeah, that was the last jump. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and big alien heads.
Hey, to that point, man, I want to say everybody should definitely travel. One place I haven't gone to is Egypt.
I want to.
And I've been in different countries in Africa, but I definitely want to go to Egypt just to see some history, man. Because I read about it and I look upon it, but you being there is just totally different, man.
Yeah, that's the first place I want to go to when I skip the pond, as they say. First place I want to go to England and then that other shit. I want to go to Egypt first. That's the first place I want to go. First place.
Yep.
Yep. We lost P.
Fuck 'em.
He said, "Yeah." Oh man.
All right, well, that will conclude this episode of the Flight Room. We look forward to seeing y'all next time. Make sure you follow, subscribe, comment. Let us know where we wrong. Fact check us. Get back at us. We like to argue. And be safe.
All right.
Peace.